Imagine yourself, you're in your favorite chair next to a fireplace, or in the summer, the breeze of the AC, catching up on the news, except anything non-digital is more of a thing of the past. Have you ever wished to live like people who got their news from the paper, and eat at the retro restaurants, and overall live through a different decade? Well, I pulled those older line issues from the shelves so you could live your dreams. These were from our very school in the past, and this one specifically is from 1989 to 1990. Just this episode will have teacher and staff opinions. Enjoy this last archives episode for this school year.
This looks older to me than the 1980s. And that's the time I was in high school. I graduated in 91. If you gave this to me, I would have guessed this was from earlier. And even that guy looks like Bart Simpson, maybe a ripoff of Matt Groening's work.
It's not that much different, maybe a little bit. Schwarzenegger, I don't think anyone's going to be wanting to look like Schwarzenegger now since he's in his 80s or, Kids are kids. It feels like a lot of these could be the same thing that would be done today. You could just pick it up and change a couple of names and it would be the same thing. I definitely approve of the not beating up my little brother this year. That's a great thing. Everyone should always take one of those on. This is actually not too long after I got out of college. So my 89-90 New Year's resolution was to stop eating red meat. And pretty soon after that, I stopped eating chicken too, and I've been a vegetarian since then.
I was like, what's going on with this girl? But I actually really think it's quite creative. It's funny. I immediately thought of Toy Story. The whole idea of imagination in this particular piece is, apparently what I'm interpreting is what this girl would use a hair ribbon to have all these adventures, imaginary adventures. Really, it's nice imagery. It has some good anaphora at the beginning.
Even just it was the trusty lasso that Wonder Woman used to catch the crooks. It was the leather belt that made the fashion show. Obviously, you could imagine a little kid engaging in a pretend fashion show. I have two daughters, and they have an older cousin. I remember one time we had to put on the YouTube music. That was the fashion show beats, and they're coming out and into the rooms in their different Disney costumes and Halloween costumes and the like.
Embarrassing? I'm kind of boring. Let me see. I went to a men's bathroom before. I was in there all the way, and then I figured out the equipment is different. How I knew I was in the wrong place. I'm like, we don't have those. I was talking about urinals, so I mean, well, just the other day, someone told me that I had my sweater on backwards. They're like, oh, they came running up to me and said, you can shirt, but I was like, no, that's not supposed to be.
You know what a teacher told me? Because I love to talk. Most embarrassing moment in high school when a teacher told me, Rodriguez, shut the beep up. I was so embarrassed. Okay, some embarrassing moments that I can remember that students experienced here was a young man, there were cupcakes, meaning past tense, and they threw the container in the garbage, and one of my students, I guess he just loved frosting, took the container out of the garbage and opened up the thing and just started wiping the frosting off and eating. Another one it wasn't so much, I don't think embarrassing, more like funny. Senior assassin. The students dressed up one of the boys like a girl so they wouldn't get killed walking out the door.
Okay, that's all. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for the next one at the beginning of the next school year, and don't forget to check out the Lion website and read our recent print issue for other great content. Thanks!